Alrighty, Cardi. I can almost guarantee that in the past week it was Christmas. I can guarantee that one for sure. But I can almost guarantee that under a lot of males' trees was some wood, some bare butts, some bare nuts, some comfy nuts. All the females out there would have got their men, all of the nut care products out there, which is awesome. So, yeah, awesome that around Australia, probably around the world. We're pretty big around the world nowadays as well. So around the world, there's going to be a lot of comfy nuts, if you know what I'm saying. And as you've said in the past, look after yourself, look after your significant other by make sure you're getting these incredible products. That's why here at Any Given Sunday, we are proud to be supported by Nut Care, voted number one at Men's Health magazine. And just like all of our sponsors, you go to their checkout. Any Given Sunday is the code, 10% off. You can't go wrong. Heading into what was supposed to be a warm summer, you're going to be doing yourself and everyone around you that is going to see it. Probably not going to be too many see it. Maybe your bare butts. I know a few people like getting their bare butts out. Do yourself a favour, 10% off Any Given Sunday at their checkout.
Brown 45! Brown 45! Hot, 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 hot!
You are listening to Any Given Sunday, Australia.
Yes, hello and welcome to the Any Given Sunday Australia podcast, the number one podcast in at least three houses. I was going to say three studios. One studio. Oh, God, I fucked it already. The NFL Australia headquarters.
Magic early.
Gridiron Australia headquarters. We're on over in Arkansas. That's the one I've got to talk about because we had Max Fletcher on the other week. Me and you, Cardi. He was an absolute legend to talk to. An AFL family icon that made the switch, and he was such a really good chat. Just a quick, what were your thoughts on his chat, mate?
He was a Jet, and he was good because he's only back home from the States for a little bit. So awesome of him to give up his time, like everyone that we've spoken to that's come through the Pro Kick boys and the program. Like super humble, grateful for the experience. Like realizes the opportunity that he's got. So really good chat. Make sure you jump on and have a look or a listen to that one. It's definitely worth your time.
Absolutely. He was incredible to chat with and just to hear some of the stories that he come with from his family. Also, his brother was huge. Joining us, as always, down his basement, wherever that may be, taking more of the load while Danny is still away. At Tim Cardi, AGS AU TC 24. How are you, mate?
Oh, good, mate. We miss our boy. Daniel Lee's got to be running out pretty soon, I would like to think.
Well, he's out of Daniel Leave. He's now doing unpaid.
What?
I hope he knows that.
No way. Yeah. I think he's going to be back soon. So keep your eyes peeled. He might be back for the next episode, maybe, depending when we record.
He did have a couple of delayed flights, which is not ideal for him.
Depending when we jump on. Yeah.
We will hopefully see his bright, bubbly face very soon.
We won't lock in an exact date. We'll keep our powder.
No, we're not going to. We can't lock in ourselves, let alone him. As you can see in your background, mate, and mine, little Christmas tree. It has been Christmas, so Merry Christmas to all.
Yes.
Although it is on. It's moved on.
Hope you all had a good Christmas. How about that?
Yes, that's it. It's now New Year's. This will be our last episode this year. It's not financial year, calendar year.
Calendar year, there you go.
So happy and safe New Year's to everyone. So what goes on top of the Raiders hat for a New Year's?
Maybe a little party hat, like the
party hat. Yeah.
You get a little, get one of them out of the gob. What are they called? A little.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but now that I think about it,
everyone would know.
No idea what the name is.
No, I don't reckon anyone knows what they're called.
Nah. I know what you're talking about. Anyway, mate, we've talked enough dribble. Make sure everyone gets onto our link tree. We've got nothing but new merch going up there all the time. Also, our Game Pass code. It was 99 cents on the weekend. You were silly if you didn't try it out. So make sure you do get on there. Check out the link tree. Check out, merch store, Game Pass, and it'll have all of our socials on there as well. Carts, a massive stat that I saw or heard during the week
Yeah.
24 teams are still in playoff contention. We have 4 from each division
Yes.
or each conference that are out. They're gone. But 24 teams, which is the most teams with 2 weeks left since 2004. So 20 years since there's been more teams in contention with 2 weeks to go, which is huge.
It's huge. And what it means is there's so many meaningful games this time of year. Like there's so many games that are impacting. Like obviously some teams are a bit more like it's still a mathematical chance, but realistically they're probably not going to make it. But technically they're still in with a chance. Like I saw it might have been on the NFL Australia's Instagram. It was just posting up scenarios for teams to clinch, and the one for the Bill, like something for this week for the Bills, it was like a list was like this long, which is strange considering they're sitting 6th in the AFC. But like you got the likes of the Bears and the Saints, the Broncos, my boys the Raiders, like not as much of a chance, but hey, technically still mathematically possible if we win out. And so, but the main takeaway, lots of meaningful football still left, which is exciting.
Absolutely. And like you said, not only are there teams that are still mathematically a chance, but there are 2 teams that have clinched that we didn't mention last week. Miami has now clinched a playoff berth. They haven't clinched because Buffalo's still a chance with being 2 games behind to take them for the division. But
they've got playoffs, yeah.
Where Detroit has clinched the NFC North for the first time in 30 years.
Yes.
Absolutely huge.
Huge. Did you see any of MCDC's post-game speech?
I think I did, but it was in between.
Special man. Like, for the likes of you guys, man. It's
pretty
good.
Up against the boys as well, the OGs.
Man a lot, but he's been, like, the same authentic dude the whole way through. And he, like, a lot of people gave him shit and stuff like that early on, but he's delivered, so...
Yeah, and it's only taken 2 years.
Well, I think he went there 2020.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
So he was 0-8 his first season, and he was 0-10-1 before he got his first win, and then they were playoff nearly bound yet last year, and then year 3. So that's a massive turnaround for them.
They won their last game to give them a chance to make the playoffs, but then I think it was the Seahawks. They
beat the Packers, which kicked us out.
Yeah, Seahawks changed it. But, it's awesome for the Lions. I can't remember if we go back to when we were predicting the divisions earlier in the year. I can't remember if I went with the Lions or the Vikings, but you were still pretty staunch on the Packers. That didn't come.
I was. But I think you two were – it was either the Vikings or the Lions, and I think obviously with Kirk going down, it was the Lions division.
I'd like to say I said the Lions.
Check the tape. Someone's got to do it. No one will do it. So, but yeah, and another story which I did have, but I have forgot. Oh, Pittsburgh. So with 1 game to go, they had a big win with Mason Rudolph, who has now been named as starting QB as of yesterday, I believe it was.
Yep.
It looks like, and they've got a trash offense. Let's be honest. They've got through on their defense.
Yeah, it hasn't fired this year, that's for sure. Yeah.
They're looking good to be plus 500 again for the, I believe, 20th season in a row.
Well, Mike which is incredible. Never had a losing season. But so, what do we got to do? Yeah,
they're 8-7, so they still can have it. But
1 game.
Yeah, but you're thinking they're likely. Which is huge. I think just hearing that stat, 20 seasons, that's enormous. And all they need is they've got Mason Rudolph as their QB. So if they can find out their offense, get back at Roethlisberger.
Christmas bump because of the name, do you think?
Oh, maybe. Yeah, the old, yeah.
You like that one?
I tried, mate. I don't know. It's a bit of a Reg Schnoz. He did get punched in the face with a helmet. Was that him? Couple of years ago would have, yeah. Anyway, all right. We've got some injury news and some news to talk about, and of course, it is brought to us by our good friends at C2C Rare Threads. I've been talking to them during the week. They've got more gear in. They've actually had a massive Boxing Day sale, which If you go online, it's actually on what? Yeah, there you go. Boxing Week sale. So good time to get in there, have a look. Even bigger deals than what there normally is. And like I said, they've just come back from the States and have an incredible amount of gear. So definitely get on there and check them out. But it didn't work last week. Let's make sure it works.
Thank you for calling Dr. Danny's office.
The gremlins are gone for some reason. Maybe it's because my internet's better at 9 o'clock at night.
The gremlins are gone.
They are gone. What injury news have you come across this week, mate?
What were we talking? Oh, Tua. Tua was a bit limited practice. I think he's nursing a quad and a thumb injury. But they're saying the news out of the who was it? The inside from the Sentinel, the Miami Sentinel, whatever paper it was. The fact that he practiced at all in any capacity is good news, and probably will lean more to the side of him playing week 17 than going to be missing. So the fact that he was able to practice at all early in the week is a good sign.
I think a bigger worry for them that I saw in that thing was Waddle was also, he went out pretty early during the game. So is there any news on him getting back this week, or is still looking a little bit doubtful when I last heard?
He was looking more doubtful, yeah. Haven't heard any newer updates than just that he's looking doubtful, and he didn't participate in training or practice at all, I'm pretty sure.
So they've been able to do it, a week, pretty much 2 weeks. They had Tyreek injured, not playing, and now Waddle, and they've finally got their first win against an above 500 team.
Well, not just any above 500 team. The Cowboys, who were
the Cowboys, yeah. So
bloody Super Bowl favorites, absolute wagon, this and that. Danny loves to poo-poo the Dolphins for not beating, or is it you?
No, well, Danny said it, but I did agree with what he said. But they've finally got it. So how much do you think will this help? Just in the team themselves, like morale, I guess. The fact that I guess the monkey's kind of off the back.
Yeah, a little bit. And like we're talking about, they've clinched. They're going to the playoffs, which is huge. They've beaten the Cowboys, who I think they've got the Ravens coming up. And
yes. Yep.
I can't remember who the other matchup is off the top of my head, but they've got a couple of
matchups
coming into the playoffs. So they're currently doing the in-season hard knocks as well.
They got the Bills to finish.
So they've got a solid run, but I don't know. Like we always talk about, there's positives to having a soft run, positives to having a pretty decent run into playoffs. They'll obviously be hyping it and spinning it that it's good. We want this hard run. We want this tough run in the playoffs. It's going to sharpen us. We're going to be ready to go, fit and firing. Tyreek is still chasing the 2,000 yards, which is still a possibility. He didn't have a massive game.
Yeah, well, he got 99 yards.
Not a massive game against the Cowboys, but it's still within reach. Like if he balls out for these last two, so I reckon that'll be a huge thing. They'll be aware of. They're kind of be chasing that. Like you got to assume Tua is pretty aware of that. Try and get him maybe to the 2,000 yards first time ever.
1641. He's on currently on.
So that's why I think he had to sort of get like 150 a game ish was like a more manageable target, but it's still doable. But he's going to have to, like we said, absolutely ball out. But no, I think vibes are good. Vibes are good for the Dolphins. Vibes are high.
That was a bit of an impromptu chat about the Dolphins, but the vibes are not as high over in Denver. What is going on there, mate? It looks like they've benched Russell, and it sounds like it's financial reasons that they've benched him. Is that right?
It's looking like a business decision. So, as we know, his 5-year contract extension starts, I'm pretty sure, next season. It's like $240 million or something like that. There's a clause in his contract that reportedly he's not getting rid of this injury clause. If he can't pass a fitness test, I think it's in March next year.
Yeah, early March.
Guaranteed 39 mil or whatever the figure is, I think.
37.
It's guaranteed money straight away. So there's talk that maybe they're worried about him getting hurt in these last 2 games. and if they're looking at moving him on, they don't want to take the $39 million hit next year.
But if he doesn't pass it, then he gets the money.
Yeah, it's like an injury clause, so it's like in favour of the player.
Right.
But then I don't know what the cap hit will be if they're going to move him. So a lot of talk. So as soon as that decision was made to bench him, a lot of the talk was, well, they're going to get rid of him. They're moving on from Russell. So then I don't know. I can't get my head around what the cap hit. I'm hearing $85 million over the 2024 and 2025.
Yeah, right.
So
I'll try and do
the breakdown of it is interesting, is hard to get your head around, but I think the idea is if they get rid of him, they only take the hit for next year. But yeah, it's a lot of money. And like, why sign him to such a big deal with all these guarantees if it was only like a 1-year trial, which is like what a few people have said. It's like Sean Payton came in and said, we're giving Russell 1 year. If it doesn't work out, we're moving on. So it's like, why sign him to such a big deal with all these guarantees and it is the what they call the Walton, whatever the family is that owns the Broncos. They've got
the Walton,
the Walmart family. So they've got very deep pockets, but even still, like, you don't want to throw away money if you don't have to.
No. So it's if they cut him pre-June 1
next year, yeah,
it still looks like it's an $85 million cap hit.
I mean, that's like, it's a lot.
Yeah, in just dead money. You can't do anything with
cap
it.
Space. So, and they don't have any draft capital because of the deal to get Russell there. So it's like, are they going to hit the free agency market and try and get a quarterback? But then who's in the market? Like, I don't know. It's an interesting situation that they're creating there by benching him.
It just seems a little bit.
And he's been like, to his credit, he's been playing better this. Like, he's been playing okay.
Yeah, well, that's. I did hear that they were talking about this injury clause. They were trying to get him to waive it, and it was after he come off his probably best game where he threw 3 touchdowns and got the win. I reckon it was either the Bills or maybe Kansas or something like that. And then they started talking about that, like, not a good time to bring it up when he's playing his best football, I guess.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, very strange down there, and it'll be another one just to keep an eye on and see what the hell is going on.
Definitely.
All right, let's move on to some of the games from this week.
Before we move on,
did
you see the story coming out of Green Bay about this?
Oh, I did. Yes. I did, and I actually saw this. I've kind of followed it as it's developed because I saw the interview that Jair Alexander that you're talking about, and I actually quite like Jair. He's a bit of an out there kind of cat, but he can be quite a good.
Did you see his post game in the locker room interview?
Yes, and he said so. He's from Carolina, from what I understand.
Charlotte, was it?
Yeah, which is in North Carolina.
Yeah.
And so he wanted to go out there, but he just decided to be a captain by himself.
So
I wasn't appointed.
Which I've heard that there's maybe 3 captains, and then the 4th one's a rotating captain. If it's your home city, wherever if you're going back there, they'll bring you in as the 4th.
Okay, so he said the boys are around him. He did nothing wrong. But then...
So, yeah, his interview post-game was very lighthearted. He was having a bit of a laugh with it because he nearly stuffed up the call and everything, like saying, I want our defense to have it instead of saying, like, we're going to defer and all that sort of stuff. But then, and potentially off the back of seeing that interview, which is why Gutekunst, the GM from the Packers, came out and said, look, you can't be behaving like that. He wasn't nominated as a captain. He nearly potentially came out and could have caused some issues had he stuffed up the call.
So, yeah, stuffing out the call. Now, I actually want to play this because we haven't had this for quite some time.
Axe, double right spirit, Larry, 735H pump, double Kate, it's on 2.
Green left west, U shift. F short, spider 2, U banana Z over.
Excuse me, everyone. This is the NFL Nuffy, hosted by TC24.
So you need to update the title on YouTube to Surprise Nuffy segment as well.
Surprise Nuffy. Because there's a couple of rules that I wanted to go through. The other one we'll go through when we talk about the game. But I didn't understand until they were going through it that he could have deferred both halves. So we could have been kicking off both halves.
I didn't either. So when you say you're deferring, you're saying you're deferring your decision to receive the ball in the second half, which is what most teams do when they win the toss.
Yeah, but he said, no, I want our defense out there.
Yes, because he kind of joked. He's like, everyone knew what I was saying, but I didn't realize that was a thing, that you could literally have to kick off both times at the start of the game and at the half.
And I can't think of a time that you would do that.
Mate, unless you knew 100% maybe that the wind was – I don't know. Why? Yeah, you would never do it.
You would never do it.
Which is why the captains have a little conference pre-game. Even as they're walking out, it's like, all right, TMac, you're talking. No one else. Shut the fuck up. We don't want to ruin this. So, it's funny.
It could have been here if the – and I imagine it's one of those things that you've said it is what it is. Like, you can't change your mind. So he almost made that absolute blunder. So he's been given a week to think about it.
Funny. Well, when you're better cornerbacks and you guys are in playoff contention, you need to win.
And we've got the Vikings with Justin Jefferson.
Gone and suspended him for a game. So I'm all for
I do like the
standard and laying down the law, but was there some other in-house punishment you could do, like some sort of suspended match payment, or because he forgoes his match payment too because he's not playing. So, or maybe
make him play without pay.
No, but like some in-house community service type something that you could do. Surely or donate your match payment to a charity or something, because at the end of the day, you still want to win.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so I agree. I do like the stance. We don't fuck around here, but let's not fuck around and fuck up our chances either.
Yeah, the standard you walk past, the standard you're willing to accept. So, but you got to set them standards. But at the end of the day, you don't want to hurt the team either.
No, and and for what seemed to be.
It was a bit of an innocent, kind of lighthearted, everyone was having a bit of a laugh. It was
an innocent mistake that didn't really cost us.
It felt like the journalists were kind of onto it and being like, you weren't nominated as a captain, and then they were like, you nearly stuffed up.
He was like, what do you mean? I didn't do shit.
What I was saying. They were all laughing at me, but they all knew.
Yeah. The refs were like, so you want to defer? He's like, yeah, whatever. I don't care.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
I did see that story, and I am a little bit disappointed. So hopefully, and there has been a little bit of niggle between him and the Packers at the moment. So I'd hate to lose him on something stupid like this as well.
There's every chance he's gone next year, mate.
I know. All right, mate. It was an extremely busy Christmas Day, Boxing Day weekend. How much of which games kind of stood out to you as being, and there is so many that are playoff changing or just games that you're like, wow, that was an incredible game. Which one stood out to you, mate?
I'm not sure if it's obvious, but probably the game that stood out to me. I don't know if you'll be able to pick it. It's a little good
Christmas Day one, something that happened on Christmas Day.
Present, I think. My boys taking it to the Chiefs and coming away with the dub. So,
did you take it to the Chiefs? You kind of showed up and they just fucked up.
We won. We might have taken it from the Chiefs, maybe.
Yeah, you did. It was defensively.
Weird game. Aiden O'Connell didn't complete a pass after quarter time. He only went for 62 yards the whole game. Patrick
Mahomes in the
first quarter.
That's incredible.
Patrick Mahomes fumbling and the Raiders defense getting a fumble recovery for a pick six, and then going for the extra point and then fumbling. Oh no, sorry, they were just going for the extra point. They weren't going for the two, and then fumbled the snap on the hold for the kick, and it was just weird game. There was trick plays, there was all sorts of stuff going on. Chiefs missed a field goal probably at a crucial time just before halftime. It just interesting, weird sort of game, but hey, we'll take it.
I did hear it was pretty windy, but
windy.
Both teams had to play in it.
No, but it was a bit wet, and that's why the ball was a bit greasy, a bit fumbly, but then Max Crosby and the boys making stogies in the change room after. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, your boys, your defense definitely came to play there for sure. There's a game, I won't bring it up because I imagine we're going to talk about it, but we already mentioned it before. We won't need to talk about it again, but the Dolphins beating the Cowboys by 2 was also pretty huge, I reckon.
Yes.
The other one I thought was very interesting because they can clinch this week with, I reckon, just a win and win that NFC South. The Bucks beating the Jags.
Yeah, probably a bit of a surprise, especially in Tampa Bay. So, Tampa Bay at home. Sorry, Tampa Bay getting it done. Yep. No, surprising. Yeah, the Jags still needing to keep winning out, I suppose, to give themselves a chance. They're sitting fourth, but just it's the backlog of teams behind them that is.
Well, they've gone from 8-3 to now 8-7 as well.
Yeah, and I think is he questionable with? Is it concussion maybe something? It's questionable, so I'm not sure what his niggle might be.
So again, it should say, wouldn't it?
Have a look-see.
So they've got the Panthers, which is not a bad. He's not on the list, so he should be all right by looks of it.
He's cleared up. That's okay.
That's
good because, like we said, the Jags need Trev out there, and we want Trev out there. We want the Jags firing. We don't mind the Jags.
The other one, well, they've got the Panthers this week, the Jags, but the Panthers nearly probably upset my Packers, realistically having a chance to send it to overtime if they didn't run out of time and have no timeouts left.
Yeah, I didn't see much of that game, so you're going to...
Right, so there was about 30 seconds left. We kicked the field goal, and then Bryce Young let them down. They only had one timeout left, which they used, and then they completed a pass to about the 30, I reckon. So it'll be a 43-yard field goal. But as they ran down to spike it, the time expired, and they didn't even get the chance. So the Packers come away with the W, but Bryce Young did look quite good. I know our defense has sucked for the last, month and a half, but just gives something about the Jags where, 3 or 4 weeks ago, you're going, the Jags are going to walk in there and absolutely romp them. Probably a little bit of worry in the Jags camp this year.
Yeah, well, potentially. Not too much.
Yeah.
Not too much.
All right. And the other game, which I think we need to mention, there's some, like you said, other big wins. Steelers beating the Bengals. Bills just beating the Chargers.
Well, two interesting ones. The Falcons getting over the top of the Colts and the Patriots taking down the Broncos. So the Broncos and the Colts still very much in that race for playoffs, both losing what arguably you'd say pretty winnable games.
And the Broncos, that's a great point because they lose. If they win that and your boys getting the job done, they're only one game behind.
Well, is Russell benched if they win that? I don't know.
Oh, the world is different if they don't. Yeah. But the big game was the Monday night thriller. Ravens getting the job done against the 49ers. 33-19, 4 picks in that game for Brock Purdy. The biggest question I have for you out of that game, which I think is a little bit harsh, but he's gone from favourite to, I think, equal 5th favourite Brock Purdy in the MVP votings.
Yeah, he's not even in the top 4. One game. Just feels like people were waiting for him to have a game like this and just be like, hey, look, it's just been all his weapons in the offense that have been making him look good. Their defense is an absolute wagon, this and that. But, man, it's one game. Like, they're still, where are they? I think they're on top.
Well, they're still number 1.
They're still on top in the NFC.
And they can clinch this week, the number 1 spot.
Quarterback is the most important position in the team. And
the Ravens now are number 1 defense. So he's not playing against shit opposition.
Yeah. Like, I get that a game like that hurts and, it might drop him in, but like to not even be in top 4 after all the talk was, he's clear favorite, this and that, but so Lamar's become the new MVP favorite, and I think McCaffrey might even be in the top 4 for the playoff race.
He'd have to be
for the MVP race, but a lot of talk around Tyreek and CMC. If a position player can actually win it and not a quarterback or a skill player, is it a skill player? Whatever it's called.
Yeah, I don't think Tyreek can get it now after the last.
2,000.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to get there for one, and I reckon just having those couple of weeks off has hurt his chances. And I'm not a massive. I think the 49ers are an absolute wagon still, but I'm not going to give him props because I know too many 49ers fans that are just so headstrong and I hate giving him props.
Really?
But to give Brock Purdy a little bit of backup, Aaron Rodgers, when he won one of his 4, the first week of the season, we played Jameis Winston. He was down at, might have been Tampa Bay or something like that, and they absolutely towed us up. Maybe it was New Orleans, but they had their Thunders and shit, so we were playing down in Florida. Rodgers threw 3 interceptions and had an absolute horror, but then went on to win the MVP. So why does it matter if it's happened at the end of the season?
Yeah, I was going to say, does the timing of the game hurt?
Yeah, well, it shouldn't really. I don't think
shouldn't, but people are fickle.
So I don't know. He might be still juicy odds now that he's out the 4th or 5th favourite.
Maybe jump on.
Are you worried as maybe finding some holes in the 49ers outfit?
No, I don't.
Or do we see how they bounce back?
No, I see him bouncing back. Like a couple of those picks were like batted away and then caught and stuff like that. So like it wasn't like terrible throws. And like their defense was still going okay, but like Lamar was he was kind of the difference. So he was. Game. He like just got crucial first downs when they needed from 3rd and long and all that sort of stuff. So Lamar was like super impressive, but not too concerned about the 49ers just yet.
Yeah, I think we see how they go this week. If they can bounce back, I think everyone's due to have a bad game. It's just obviously theirs is a bit more highlighted, being the fact that they are the number 1 seed. So we'll see how they bounce back, and then this time next week we'll have a few more comments. All right, mate. I have it ready to go. I don't have it ready to go, but we are ready for the single.
It's time for questions without notice.
Single question without notice, and it comes from Arrowhead Stadium. I'm pretty sure they did play at home. The offensive struggles of the Kansas City Chiefs being married up with the fact that Taylor Swift is now spending a fair bit of time. Is that now becoming a distraction for that Kansas City Chiefs more than it is look how good this is?
I don't think so. It's an easy comparison to draw, I think. I don't
draw it, so it must be easy.
Yeah, exactly. No, I don't think so. Like they've been a dominant team for 5 years. Like other teams' defenses are obviously going to study the best. And like we said, when you're at the top, you're getting everyone's best every week and that sort of thing. Like they haven't been the best this year, the Chiefs, but they're still a team that a lot of teams want to beat. A lot of opposing teams want to beat. So I think their Swifty Bo is an easy one to draw, but she's not the cause of their issues, I don't think.
Another quick one, and I want a yes or no answer, just because we're getting a little bit long in the tooth tonight.
Yeah.
Are the Chiefs dead this season?
Yes.
Ooh, I love it. We'll come back to that next week because that's a juicy little subject. All right, let's get on to our favourite segment, mate, and it is all yours. I do not have it
Everyone's
made ready for you.
Sting. Ready and go. Oh, no. Oh, one day. You'll surprise me like you did with the Nuffy. Anyway, lock of the week, week 16. Danny, again, we did it through our messenger, that sort of thing. Danny took his boys, the Eagles, got it done. He moves on to 8. So the Eagles, they had they played
Giants.
The Giants. So Danny didn't go on a limb too much there, but you took the Bagels, which was brave, seeing how they're up against Pittsburgh, who was still fighting for a playoff game. Didn't come off. So you're stuck on 8 with Danny. You're coming last.
Yeah. I'll stop back.
Up and Charlie, we didn't talk, but we took the Bills. And we got the win. I forgot about the new coach bump. So they were playing the Chargers. Obviously, they fired Brandon Staley earlier in the week off the back of what my boys did to him. Forgot about the new coach bump again, but we got it done. It was a nervous wait. It was actually a pretty exciting finish to the game. So myself and Charlie got the dub there. Charlie moves out to 9, standalone on 9, and I'm well out in front on 10. So
yeah, dropped the ball the last 3 weeks.
The last couple of weeks for the lock of the week. As we said, it's all about not losing. So winning is going to be nice, but it's about not losing.
I made some big statements about what the punishment should be, but now that I'm down the bottom, I'm going backwards on them a little bit.
Back a little bit. I don't mind that, but I've kept those receipts, so don't worry. Also, quickly wanted to shout out our fantasy leagues, all having our Super Bowls this week. We ended up getting a few leagues up and running. So good luck to everyone playing off in all those games. I think I'm playing off for 9th position in one of those leagues, as you would have seen in the chat today. I was getting a bit of stick for making some moves, but got played off. I'd rather finish 9th than 10th. And then tipping. Been another big week in tipping. My boy Lovey, I don't know how he did it, but he's tipped 12 this week. So I think he's 4 out in front. So he's looking.
It's going to be hard to reel him back.
He's to lose from here on out. So well done to Lovey. But yeah, good luck to all those guys in the Super Bowl fantasies this week.
All right, mate. The early predictions on the Friday game, which is on the 29th, hours 12:15. It's the Jets versus the Browns, an absolute thriller.
At Cleveland Browns Stadium in Cleveland, Ohio. The bookies have got this one. The Browns are 7-point favorites. So the Jets obviously coming off a win on the weekend, but the Browns have been looking good with Joey Flacco coming in and slinging the pill around. All the money looking like it's on the Browns, and I think you'd be silly to go against them. The line...
7. Yeah.
7. I'm going to say the Jets are going to cover just because they've got that decent defense. The Browns will win, but I think the Jets will cover.
70% of the cash, 71% of the cash.
Yeah, 7's a lot of points.
The Browns.
And the Jets are pretty Jekyll and Hyde, but the Browns will definitely win. But I just feel like the Jets may cover.
See, I'm going the other way. I think, I am going the other way. I think, yes, you're right. The Jets do have a pretty good defense, but so do the Browns. So I can't see the Jets putting any points on them.
No.
And Joe Flacco, they've looked pretty good with Flacco in recent weeks. You know, they've put up 36 against Houston. They beat Chicago 2017. They beat Jacksonville 31-27. So they're putting up some big numbers.
Second in the AFC North, like they're sitting.
So I reckon they do win and cover.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my. Do they have any notable outs?
I've heard of any.
Nah. Zach Wilson's out. Who are they using as quarterback? Shit.
He's not notable, is he?
He's no good. Rodgers, he's still not back. Haven't heard.
No, he's not back yet, mate. They officially eliminated the Jets, so he won't be coming back this year.
I actually heard an article saying he didn't want to come back. He didn't want to be put on activated because it got somebody else pushed off and he felt a little bit bad. All right, mate. I hope you have a great New Year's. There is a lot of big games which we will cover next week. My Packers have got the Vikings. It's a win or go home kind of game for us. Who do your Raiders have, mate? You know, the Colts.
We've got the Colts in Indy. So tough because the Colts are kind of not fighting for their lives as well, but kind of fighting for their lives. So pretty important game there. Probably winner or loser might probably be out of contention, maybe.
Yeah, you're definitely out of contention if you lose.
Yeah, and then if Indy lose, they're making it very hard for themselves. So massive game there for my boys. And obviously the Dolphins and the Ravens, that's a huge game in Baltimore. There's
lots of, like we say, playoff football. Football means something at the moment, so heaps to go through. Hopefully we do have Danny back next week. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
But have a happy and safe New Year's, mate.
You too, and everybody out there in the fam. Enjoy yourselves. Look after yourselves. Have fun.
And we'll see you next in 20. What are we in?
Responsible.
See you in 2024.
See you, fam.